We're talking about 5Gs, we're talking about artificial intelligence and all of that. But what we have happening now is that a part of the economy, the major part of our economy, has been crippled. It has been crippled because we cannot go out to work. It has been crippled, thankfully, because of communication, we can still be in touch. Because like we're now talking to you, so we're still in touch. But we have to recognize that the world is constantly changing. And if we do not change with the world, our businesses are going to find ourselves in so much challenges, right? So we have to constantly change with what is happening in the world. Now, when we look at the fifth revolution, for some of us it's going to be so mind-blowing, and for some people will say it is already here, but there are some finer details of it that will be coming in a very short period of time. But as I stated before, that a lot of businesses now are closed and workers are at home. And one of the high points of the fifth revolution is having people working from home, using artificial intelligence to do all sorts of things, and to make sure that we use up the different technologies and the different apps that are available to make sure that things work the way that they ought to work. The businesses that will survive the future are businesses that is very technologically driven. Those are the businesses that will still survive. We talk about robots. And in today's day, if robots in Jamaica were affordable, we could stay home and send the robots to do some of the work for us. But it's not here yet. But let me tell you, it is fast on its way. So what do we do as business persons to just make sure that we are at the least being able to survive? And what is it that we need to do if we're in business now, if we're thinking of going to business? Where should our thinking be? Now, the jobs of the future, many of them, we don't even know the names of those jobs right now. So 5 years, we'll have to look at our business and say, what is it that we're going to do now to ensure that later on, when, if something like this should happen again, that we'll be able to survive. Now, as a small business operator, do you have a board of directors? Your board of director is going to be very crucial. Like
especially if you want to grow your business.
Especially if you want to grow your business and
you need to have a formal board of directors, people who help to influence the decisions that the business make.
Right. Well, what is most important is that that team that you will put together must fully understand the economics of digital platform and digital models. Because it's going to be difficult to survive without these digital platforms and these digital models. You can always do the research on the internet about the different strategies that are in place, how you can integrate corporate and digital strategy. So I want you to take note of that, how you can incorporate corporate and digital strategy. You have to create a synergistic portfolio of old and new business model, because while we're going to be moving into the new business model, we have to recognize where we are coming from, because there are some mistakes of the past that we need to correct into the future. So we can't just go ahead and just throw away, what used to happen.
And then the thing about it is that you don't want your transition to happen too late, because many businesses that end up joining the transition too late end up either running into bankruptcy, to they end up just failing altogether. For example, there was a time where in the garment industry, a standard clothing size was not necessary. People would just make garments to whatever size they think needs to be made. But as time progressed and people started refining their choices, companies that never jump on the train to refine the decisions that they made ended up closing down and ended up being in bankruptcy. And these people are people that we like to call Luddites, and they came from a term that came up in the Industrial Revolution time, where you had people who were defiant in joining the revolution. The thing about it, is that Bob Marley said it: you can't stop the time. The only thing that you can do is just go with the time. And if you try to stop it, then at the end of the day, you end up hurting your business and impeding the success that you could have with your business because of your decision to not go with the flow. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can possibly do is to just jump on the train, modify your business, and just go with the flow.
Now, have you conceived your company's purpose and how you're going to incorporate the now fourth revolution? Because many companies in the world have incorporated a lot of things that is within the fourth revolution in their businesses. But you are probably thinking about starting your own business, or you're currently in business. Have you sat down with your team and look at what is happening in your industry? Do some research. Look at the larger businesses that are doing the same thing that you're doing, and then look at the kind of technology that they have employed to cause their businesses to grow, and to see if you and your team can look at those, do the research to determine where you are headed in this direction. Now, there is a term that is called cannibalization. And are you open to cannibalize what is it that you're doing? And that simply means just stop doing what you're doing.
Get rid of it.
It might be hard, but there are some things that you are doing, that I am doing, that we are doing now, that if we're going to line up ourselves for the future, we might not be able to do it again. Let us look at Facebook. Facebook don't really create content for us, but they create a platform that we can put content on, and what they do is to guide us, right? And if you look at Uber, right, do they own any taxis?
Uber doesn't own any taxis.
Well, what do they do? What do they do?
They contract, they have subcontractors.
Right, so they have contractors. So therefore, if you're thinking of going in the taxi business or the transportation business, these days you don't have to own a vehicle. You can use other people's
And talking about the fifth revolution and the transition into the fifth revolution, let's use Uber, because I lived in New York for a couple of years. So let's use Uber as a prime example. Uber has now started tapping in to the fifth revolution versus, and there's this thing that is being said that the fifth revolution and the fourth revolution will be working together. They work hand in hand, so they will be happening. This is the only industrial revolution that has happened that will be working at the same time. For example, out here in Jamaica, we have just tapped into the whole food delivery service, having it readily, easily available on your phone. Go onto Instagram, contact one of those people who does the food delivery service, and they started with that module. But now Uber, which is Uber Eats, which is a major food delivery company in the US, they have now started transitioning their business module to now accommodating drones. So whereas they will no longer, it will eventually get to a point where Uber will no longer need Uber drivers, because they will have enough drones ready and on hand for them to be delivering the food to your house. So the thing about the fourth and the fifth revolution is that they work with less humans in the traditional sense, but they work with more humans. And what do I mean by this? Once upon a time, human beings were the ones to deliver the food. Now you have drones that will be delivering the food. Who will need to maintain these drones? People will be needed to maintain the drones. So even though you don't have human beings who are actively distributing the food to individuals, you have the human being redistributed into another skill area. So that also comes into play. Careers and decisions that are being made today are not necessarily the careers and decisions that will be made tomorrow. They'll eventually become obsolete, or they will eventually evolve into a more mature or technological form of what is presented. For example, also, you have cleaning supplies. Once upon a time, you need a helper to help you clean your house. In the US, you have vacuums that you don't even need to be standing and vacuuming. All you have to do is to program the vacuum cleaner to know how to clean your house, and the vacuum cleaner does what it does best and cleans your house for you. So you might not need a full-time helper anymore, or you might not need to be actively cleaning your house. You could be doing multiple things at multiple times.